What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, your only podcast you need for all your movie news, movie reviews, and more. Look at that. I finally got the name right. I had
You
2 weeks
did.
where, I don't know, in
You
my
nailed it.
fevered state, I got it wrong. And whatever, you guys didn't see it because we did 2 intros last time. But we're
As
brought to
while you're
you.
there, let's
Oh,
apologize. Let's apologize for last podcast. That was
this is true.
if you did tough it out and you made it through, we appreciate it. But we were both sick, and I mean that's the first one I didn't actually finish, I think.
All right, so it was about that one. But I really don't like letting you guys down, so I always like
Mm,
to show up. So I have recorded a podcast with COVID and also the flu. So they're
yeah,
not my best performances, but I did show up. So you can't say that I'm not dedicated to the cause.
definitely
Although
true.
I don't know, put in the show notes or a comment if you'd prefer us to like be be healthy and do it, or we just
Yeah.
keep powering through. So
Yeah.
I
What's
don't
more
know.
important, quantity or quality, please?
Yeah, whatever you guys want. But 35 episodes. Who would have thought? For a
Yeah.
man that gets real excited about things and sort of throws his heart and souls into it for a week, and then you've stuck with it for
A few
35
weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised too. There's been a couple times where I'm like, I feel like doing this. But I always have fun. And like I've said, it's nice to be sort of forced to watch something new every week because I do just fall into old habits and rewatching stuff that I already like.
Yeah.
So
That's
this has
because
been
I
good.
reckon you've got undiagnosed ADD. There's a
Essentially,
there's a higher possibility.
yeah.
You know, I understand it. I have that hyper fixation as well, but
Hmm.
doesn't matter.
You also got the grind.
Yep, I've got the full grind.
You're very
So,
unique. Yeah,
oh,
for sure.
no, unique's probably a nice way to put it. But we got heaps of things
uh,
coming for you anyway. So make sure you stick around with that Rhyme TV. So I
Hell
am
yeah.
bringing a whole unique scope of my unique skills into one brand new package. So if you'd like us to review anything, if you want to get into the Discord, I'll put a link down below. So join our Discord. It is pretty new. We were sort of unsure about having a Discord, but I think it's time
Mm,
to really build that community, and you can put your recommendations and stuff in that. And then you can
definitely.
also, if you're a gamer as well, you can jump on and do some weekly challenges with us as well. So that's just started this week. But we have the brand new Super Mario Bros movie. We're gonna count.
Super Mario, bros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I
Super
forgot
Mario
where
Bros.
my brain was going.
No, that's fair.
Uh,
That's fair.
yeah, so we are going to review that for you to see whether it's worth it or not. The Pope's Exorcist, so
Hmm.
based on the true story of the actual Pope's Exorcist, which I
Sure.
forget his actual proper name, and Beef. Everyone's losing their mind about Beef, but we will
Mm.
be the judges on that one for you, whether it is worth your time or not. So it is the number one trending show on Netflix at the current
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, for
Ali
sure.
Wong. But let's get in. Let's see which personality, our co-host that looks like Split, what's he going to bring to you? I'm going to beat the
Sure.
joke already. Life's a box of Lawsons. You never know what you're
Lots of
going to
box of
get.
Lawsons.
What are you going to
Yeah.
get? Intro for movie news.
Am I doing it this time? Because
Yes,
you stole my
that's
thunder.
that's why I called you
Okay, my
out.
bad. Intro to movie news. It's movie news. It's time for movie news.
Oh, that's nice. And then you also got little birds tweeping in the background. I feel like you've got,
Oh, can you hear that?
yeah, I like it. It's
Let me close my window.
no, I like it. Leave it open. People like the birds.
Are you
The
sure?
birds are chirping. Yeah, I like them. I like them.
Okay. I
It,
feel
it
like it'd be
adds
distracting. I can hear them too, but
it adds atmosphere to it.
yeah.
So yeah. So what do we got? We got Mia Goth joins a Marvel's Blade. So Marvel's Blade, will it be as good as the original Blades? I liked Blade 1. Blade 2 was just action packed, and Blade
Blade 2
3
was fucking nightmare.
that was yeah. I did enjoy Blade 3. Blade 3 is actually my favorite, but it's not a
Oh, is
great
Blade 3
film.
the one I'm thinking of? I do
It's
lose a track a little bit of which one's which. I think 3 is the one that was
Blade
like
Blade
the
3's
messiest, most
with
insane one.
Ryan Reynolds and Jessica. I always get her name wrong. Jessica Bell, I believe, was her last name.
I don't recall. I remember
She
one just being like balls to the wall, insane. Like the first one isn't horrible.
The
Like
first one
it's
was
not
quite good.
great, but for the time, it's like yeah, it's okay. Like there's some cool action scenes and stuff. There's some attention. But they got worse and worse. I think it's three. That's just fucking
Yeah,
it's the
I
most
enjoyed it, and that's
ridiculous.
the one with the Pomeranian, and I'm pretty sure Triple H is in it. I'm pretty sure it was
Triple
Triple
H is
H.
in it.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my
pretty sure
god,
it was him.
I don't recall. I need to rewatch the American.
And then
It'd be
two
good
was
fun.
the where the vampires like evolved and they could like split their face open. Like they got real weird with their vampire like
Yeah, okay.
progression. But no,
Yeah, my memory of it's pretty hazy. If I'm honest, it's been. I reckon I watched them when I was in high school. Like
yeah, it's probably about
literally most recently is high school.
yeah.
Anyway,
I reckon it was my first R
so
film
what was
that
the news?
mum let
Sorry,
me. Mia Goth joins Marvel's Blade 3. Blade 3, Blade. The new Blade.
the new Blade. Okay, I
Mm,
don't know who that is.
no, she's
Okay.
waving in the picture. She looks nice. So we'll
What's her
get
name?
into it.
Mia Hoffel.
Mia Goth. Goth. So
Mia
yeah,
Goth. All right.
she's joining it.
Yep, no idea who she is.
No, but she's joining it. And then we've got Maria Barakani and Stephanie Kaparekik returning for Deadpool 3.
I
So
don't even know what you're saying. For
yeah,
what three?
they're their name. Deadpool 3.
Oh, sure.
They're
Okay.
doing it. Yep.
Still haven't seen number two.
Uh, yeah, it wasn't as good. It was funny, but it didn't live to
Hmm.
the same sort of hype that one was, but it's okay.
Is Hugh Jackman in two or is he coming in three?
He's
Is
coming
that
in 3.
he's coming in three? Right.
Yeah.
Because I heard someone. I think I've seen a video or like a photo of like them filming with those two on set.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that was recent or not, but yeah, I
Yeah.
have a vague memory of that. Then.
That would be recent. The Gran Turismo movie has real actors in cars driving insanely quick. Sick.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah. And the first one was pretty nothing.
the Gran Turismo.
Was there a movie? Oh no, I'm thinking Need for Speed.
Yeah.
I think
I
it was a
didn't
Grand. Yeah, right. It's David Harbour in this
yeah.
Gran Turismo. Yeah,
Yep.
right.
So
Okay.
it'll be
Orlando
pretty
Bloom.
interesting. There's a number of them
Yeah,
in there.
sure.
I
I mean, I
just
like cars.
and I don't not overly sold on it, but we'll see.
Oh, it's a
Uh
story of a.
mm,
Sorry, I'm looking at the synopsis of Gran Turismo. It's like a teenage Gran Turismo player whose gaming skills won a series of Nissan competitions, became an actual professional race driver based on a true story. So it's based on a guy who fell in love with racing and got good at racing through the game, and then actually became a professional race car driver.
okay.
So it's a
That's
biopic.
okay. Mm,
Righto. Didn't
nah,
know that was even happening.
no, not a fan of cars, but
Yeah. Anyway,
there
go on.
is a Talk to Me trailer where Australian teens are hooked on being possessed in an A24 horror.
Sure.
It's a lot of,
It's Australian. It's kind of cool.
yeah. Although Australian films are always a little bit interesting. So I don't know. I don't know how that will go.
There's
Whether
there's like a low budget quality to Australian stuff.
it's
Even now,
yeah,
like high budget stuff feels low budget. It's weird.
yeah, it's not always good. But Pedro Pascal and Ethan Hawke star in Pedro's Almodovar's strange way of life. I really liked.
What?
I really liked Pedro. He can do no wrong, and Ethan Hawke's portrayal of the kidnapper in Black Phone, absolutely incredible. So I'm interested to see what that short's all about. I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
Mm,
Strange way of life. I'm just looking up now.
yep. Do you
Yeah,
think it
right.
looks like it'd be cool?
Uh, yeah. Something like sheriffs and stuff. Is it a western?
It's a short. It's strange.
Oh, it's a short. It's a short
Mm,
Western. Okay.
mm,
Interesting, I suppose.
yeah.
But that guy can do no wrong. People will watch it just because he's in it.
Yep. And the
Um,
lady who is aging very, very gracefully, Jennifer Lopez, is getting vengeful in the trailer for the action thriller The Mother. She's like
uh,
she's
yeah, I
50.
saw that.
She looks incredible for
I don't
50.
care. I
I'm
don't
interested.
care about
I'd
her at
watch it.
all.
Really? What's a secret to her
No,
youth?
zero
No?
interest.
Okay. Okay. That's very cynical.
Look, a military trained assassin comes out of hiding to protect the daughter she's never met from ruthless criminals gunning for revenge, and it's Jennifer Lopez.
Yep, I'm in. I'm
It's
sold. You
no,
sold
are
me
you
on all
kidding?
of it.
It sounds like that sounds so shit.
Hey, guess what's coming to movie talks?
No, we're not.
The
It's a
Mother,
waste
yeah,
of
yeah.
time.
No, you're gonna love it.
A waste of time.
You're gonna eat your
It's the same
words.
as everything else.
Nope, you're gonna eat them. And Scream directing team working on a Universal monster movie. Hmm, I don't know. Is this
Oh,
gonna
as in
be?
like all the monsters coming together.
Yeah.
Is that the Dead by Daylight film?
No, I hope not. I
That would
don't.
make
I
sense.
don't understand how that film's gonna work.
Yeah, well, I guess that's it then. If that's what they're gonna do, is like bring
Guess.
all the baddies together.
I guess. I don't know. It just. I don't know.
But
It
yeah, how's it
seems.
gonna work? It's gonna be like people in a cabin, and then there's like, unless there's 30 people, which you can't do either, it's gonna feel so unfair that there's like 15 fucking murderers after these little group people.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just gonna be cameos or whatever. Maybe
Yeah, or like some sort of
Council of
maybe there's like
Monsters or
one
something.
of them. Yeah, I don't know.
I
One
don't
of them
know.
with like one other one is like a leader or something, or like a little cult. Who fucking knows? Anyway, sure. Interested.
Yeah. Okay. And the Little Mermaid trailer I actually saw when I went and saw the Super Mario's film, which surprisingly looks better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be trash, but it doesn't look too bad. So
Does it not?
there's a
Okay.
new trailer. Are you not a fan of the Little Mermaid?
Uh, you know my thoughts on redos. Like it's just unnecessary cinema. Why tell the same story
Yeah,
again
just
and again and
because
again?
it's a new audience, a new generation to get the
But it's not like the old
magical
one doesn't
of
exist
Disney.
anymore. Why can't kids just go watch the original Little Mermaid? It's fucking magic.
Because that needs a live action.
No, it fucking doesn't. It really doesn't.
Okay.
No, don't care. I don't
Okay.
care. I'll probably watch it because I think it will be trending and we'll probably do it in here. But I'm zero interest.
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
It's
Fair.
just
Fair.
a cash grab because Frozen isn't as successful as it used to be. You wait until there's a Frozen live action in the next maybe 5, 10 years, and they'll be rebooting Frozen again, and all the little fucking girls will lose their mind.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll watch it. I quite
Yep.
liked. I liked Frozen 2. Frozen 2 was
I
better
haven't
than
seen two.
Frozen 1. I quite like the story of 2. But
Yeah.
let's move on to what the people want to hear, and that is about the new Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is currently the number one highest grossing animated film. It is
Mm.
done, what was it, 500 million in the box office within the first week, I believe.
Yeah. Right.
We were just talking about it before, but it is done by Lawson's favorite studio, Illumination, with his
Totally.
favorites, the Minions. So this is the story of Super Mario Bros. On the journey through the Mushroom Kingdom. So this movie caught me by a little bit of surprise. I should probably point out at the start. So I thought it was going to be your generic run of the mill kind of Princess Peach is taken and Mario has to go save the day. But it actually starts in Brooklyn. Well, you get a
Yeah.
bit of Bowser. So I got to say, Jack Black absolutely steals the show. His
The best
performance as
part.
Bowser
Yeah.
is incredible,
Yeah.
and it leaves you wanting more of the screen time with Bowser. But I think that's probably to its success was that you wanted more of that.
Yep.
Where I'm not sure if they saturated with Bowser, it would have had probably the same effect. But we're starting in Brooklyn with Mario and Luigi, obviously the bros. Mario is starting up his own plumbing business with his brother Luigi.
Hmm.
And we get this we get their advert of them starting up their own business. And my God, I really enjoyed the portrayal of the two brothers how they're like kind of a fumbling mess, kind of like how I fumbled that sentence. So Mario is the leader of the two. Luigi just follows his brother because we know that
Hmm.
it's about Mario. And this advert is essentially just your average bloke that picked up a camera and put together this advert. So it's
Yeah,
really
it's
set,
pretty funny.
yeah. So it's setting the tone
Hmm.
for the two brothers. Chris Pratt is the voice of not Luigi, of Mario.
Mario.
I think he did a reasonable job. I know you were not overly keen on Chris Pratt as the voice.
Mm.
I was concerned how they were going to do it with his like, it's a me, a Mario, where we got a number of those lines, but I feel like it was enough that I was like, yeah, that's a cool reference, but they didn't have that
Just
consistently. You didn't
no,
like it?
exactly. It's inconsistent because there were times where I couldn't. This is for a lot of the actors and a lot of the characters. I can't help but just hear the actor, and for a lot of them, like I think the only person who really did like a voice for their character, actually like voice acting, was Keegan Michael Key. Yeah, Keegan Michael Key, the guy who did Toad. Um, he actually did a voice. It didn't sound like Keegan. So I was like, cool, I like that. Whereas everybody else just sounded like them in a recording booth. Um, and that was the weird thing with Mario is they said "Mamma Mia" so many times. I think 4 times. I didn't really count, but pretty sure 4 times. "Mamma Mia," mom, or in slow mo, "Mamma Mia."
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. It reminded me of mid to late Simpsons when they are trying to bring I Caramba back for Bart, and they just smash it in all around the place, and it's gross. So yeah, it's like if you're gonna do Chris Pratt voice and ignore the Italian and ignore all the original tropes and stuff, sure, do that. I'm not gonna get upset about that. Or if you're gonna do all the original lines and Mamma Mia's, and every now and then have an Italian accent because it suits the line, but then most of the time just sound like Chris Pratt in a recording booth. Like the inconsistency was like just do one or the other. I'm not gonna get upset, but don't be bad at your job.
Okay. I I don't know. I actually had a reasonable time with the voice acting. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought
I'd say it
they,
was bad. It was inconsistent.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
I didn't really have
that's
an
Chris anyway.
I didn't have an issue with it. I thought they did a reasonable job with the voice acting. Like I thought he was better than I went in there thinking Chris Pratt was going to be. Like
Yeah, sure.
when
And
they
and yeah, I think I'm gonna say when they originally put the trailer out, I was like offended,
yeah.
and the internet was offended. But it was fine. Like I watched it and I didn't feel the whole time that I was getting mad at the voice acting. So it was fine. Like it was just inconsistent, and they chose what they wanted to make it work. And I think that's I'll get to that later. But
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, so the brothers put their advert out, their brand new plumbing company, and they finally get a job.
Yep.
And them traveling to the job, I liked the nostalgia of them traveling and transversing like some
The 2D
platforming.
section. Yeah.
Yeah. And I liked how that was only like probably there was this kind of segment 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. I think twice actually. I even wrote down the first 2D section was 8 minute mark, anticipating they're going to do it a few times. So I wanted to keep record how many times they did it. I think they did it twice. That's
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. So
Beginning and the end.
one was near the climax.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or you could kind of count it as a third time during his like training montage, but I'm not sure if that was more of a
Yeah, that was more
3D.
third person. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But you're right, that felt very like later Mario, like Odyssey and that sort of stuff. Yeah, 3D
yeah.
Marios.
So you get a bit of a platforming, which isn't overused, which is nice. So they've done well
Mhm.
there. But you get to get the nostalgia of obviously the original Mario games. They get to this job, they do a reasonable job until some of the comedy aspects where the dog doesn't like Luigi. I'm not sure if this is a trope in the games or not because I haven't played that many Mario games, but has Luigi always been bad with dogs, or is it a
Luigi's just he's a scared character. Like he's like a coward, I guess, but always ends up succeeding through more or less luck.
yeah?
That's sort of how Luigi gets through.
Okay,
Um, so I think he's just meant to be a bit of like, oh fuck, what do I do? More
right,
than necessarily. I don't think there's any history of specifically Luigi with dogs from memory.
okay. Because we start. Well, my son started Luigi's Haunted Mansion last night, and there was a ghost
Love it.
dog in that. So I don't know if that was like a reference or not because we haven't played
Maybe. Yeah, there's
any
ghost dogs.
Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, Luigi steps on a bone. It gets upset with the dog gets upset with him. There's a
Hmm.
quite a lot of sort of humor for the younger audience, but there's also the sort of higher humor as well, which is nice. Like I've giggled quite a lot of times that they had that in there.
Yeah, I actually
But
laughed.
yeah, so they failed this job. They're a little bit down in their luck. You get the family of Mario, which I'm not sure if that's ever been in the games either. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, no, not at all. And um, just while we're on that, the voice of Mario's dad is the voice of the original Mario, Charles Martinet. And Charles Martinet also did a voice after they did the trailer or the advert for their plumbing business. They're in like a pizza place or restaurant or something. I forget. They're in somewhere, and one of the guys there is like, "No, it's a perfect wahoo," and like they almost make a joke about that. You know, the voice sounds dumb. Um, but that's his voice again. Like it felt kind of weird that they got the actual guy come in to do a couple cameos and also almost seem to pay himself out or tease himself a little bit for this weird voice. And then they just go back with Chris Pratt. Like it was a weird, I don't know, because it just reminded me that I would have rather have had him, I
yeah,
guess.
don't know. I guess Chris Pratt's a bit of a selling point though.
Of
High
course.
profile name. So
Yeah. And that's this cast, but we'll get to that later.
yeah. So they after their failed job, they get a little bit of a family interaction and Mario's a bit down on himself because he gets accused of bringing his brother down. And then we get the
Mhm.
catalyst to how Mario and Luigi get into the Mushroom Kingdom. So in Brooklyn, there is a flood, and then Mario and Luigi have to go and they'll try and redeem themselves and help the city out. They go into the sewer system and they get sucked up into one of the pipes. And that's where our first interaction into this wild, wacky world that is the Mario universe sort of kicks off. So they get split, Mario and Luigi. Luigi gets sent into the Bowser realm. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. Bowser Kingdom
No.
or Realm,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever. Bowser's like his own little lava world. Yep.
Yeah, we'll call it that. So Luigi's sent into there, where I thought they were going to have reference to a haunted kingdom. I'm not sure if that's like a foreshadowing event. So when Luigi's actually transversing around, he ends up in one of a big mansion. I was wondering if that was going to be reference to Luigi's haunted mansion, but that's where he.
Peaceful Mansion?
Yeah. So when he's running from the little skeleton turtles.
The dry bones. Yep.
Yeah. So he's running from them, which are actually it's quite a dark turn. Like for younger kids, that actually might be
Oh,
quite a
really?
scary scene.
Didn't
My
think
kids
about
my kids were fine, but I think for anything younger than 4 or 5, it might be a little bit scary. But he gets chased, and then he ends up in a mansion, which that's where the wizard thingos are. I forget what they're called. You know what are those called? The wizard, the ones in the blue robes,
Oh, sure. Yeah,
the
they do
wizard
have a name.
turtles. I thought you'd know it.
No, I don't by name,
Okay,
no.
okay, but yeah, that's where he gets taken, and
Mhm.
that's where his sort of journey. It's pretty much ends. That's where his journey ends until later on in the film
Yeah, he
for
gets captured,
Luigi.
right? And
Hmm.
they put him dangling in some like lock box, some like cage hanging out with all his other captives.
Yeah, but I thought that's where the reference to the haunted mansion would come in. But
Yeah, it'd be cool if they did. Um, like I do hope that this. I'll say now, I didn't actually hate this. I do hope that this does spur some spin-offs. I think Luigi's Haunted or Luigi's Mansion spin-off would be really interesting while we're talking about it.
well, they actually people have rumored that this is going to be a big multi-universe, and they're going to build up to the Smash Bros. Universe, which I can kind of see them doing,
Yeah.
but it would take a number of films for them to ever get
God,
that far.
I'd be so scared of a Zelda film. I, I would almost want it to be live action, and God, you've got to be so delicate with it because it's one of the most loved IPs out there. Like Mario's whatever. No one plays Mario for the story and the lore. Like they're fun platforming games, and they gave birth to so many different genres and spin-offs and whatever. But it's whatever with the movie. But Zelda, like that's touchy waters.
I
Anyway,
guess
not
we'll
here for
see.
that.
Yeah, so then we get to boost it. Well, Mario gets boosted into the Mushroom Kingdom, and there's a whole sort of segment that is really based around him exploring the Mushroom Kingdom. So
Mhm,
we get introduced to Toad. Toad's a fun character where I
mhm.
thought he was going to be a comic relief, consistent, just one-liner jokes, but I
Yeah,
think they spread that
it
out enough that it wasn't tiresome. So
wasn't too bad.
yeah, so
He grew on me for sure.
they've done reasonably well. Like your first interaction with him is, oh, you're going to be an annoying character.
Mhm.
So he pops out of nowhere and he's like, "Don't eat that mushroom." And then there's a whole running joke of Mario not liking mushrooms. I'm not sure if that was ever
No,
a
I've never
thing.
heard of that,
No.
but
So there's that joke. Then we're introduced to the Mushroom Kingdom and Princess Peach. So Princess Peach is a badass. I originally thought they were going to run with the original Mario story where Princess Peach gets taken, but she
mm,
is actually one of the main heroes and
yep.
is able to be a strong female lead. Where strong female leads are actually sort of really growing on me because when I was watching it with my daughter, she was getting all excited anytime Peach was like
Yeah,
taking names and owning it.
yeah.
So it's definitely growing on me just because originally I couldn't really relate to the old strong
Mhm.
female characters. I always wanted to a big strong buff dude to sort of save the day. But
Yeah. That is very tactical. Like
yeah,
it is nice from a family perspective, and it's awesome that you're seeing that because I guess I have no connection with that either. But yeah, of course that's great. You know, little girls everywhere can aspire to be as badass as Peach.
yeah. So
Um, but it's formulated. It's tactical. It's very intentional and obvious. But is that does it make it a bad thing? Probably not.
no, so I thought that was a good direction. I didn't understand why she was made the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom. So like she came in a portal and the mushroom people took her in, but then when she was ready, she was just made the princess. Why?
Good question.
It was never explained
Yeah,
why she was made the the princess. Like, I guess she was more able than the other mushroom people.
diplomacy. She was voted in through a fair and just system.
I don't
I have no
know.
idea.
It wasn't explained, and I don't know if the game's ever explained why.
I think it needs to be though. Like just because something becomes a movie doesn't mean you have to start building lore into what. I mean, it's already a story about two plumbers in some ridiculous world with all these ridiculous like monsters and creatures and stuff, and everyone's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So it's already ludicrous if you really think about it. So I don't think it needs explanation.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was actual lore behind it or not.
I don't think so. No, I mean there could be. I don't know.
Okay. And
Mm.
then Bowser is taking over realms. He's been his badass self, who is in love with Princess Peach and
Yeah.
wants to marry Princess Peach. And there's a whole
Yep.
song behind it, which is actually got its own full release.
It's
So
great.
it's very
Peaches, peaches,
yeah,
peaches, peaches, peaches.
it's
It's
very
good.
Jack
It's really
Black.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
very. I like that little turn of events where he actually wants to marry Princess Peach rather than
Yeah.
just sort of take over, I guess, everything.
I didn't like it at first, I'll be honest. I sort of thought initially I was like, why like that kind of changes his motivations as a character. Like it makes him less violent and less power hungry and a bit more romantic. And I was like, oh, it's not really how I see Bowser. In my eyes, always wanted to just take the princess for power. I mean, you control the princess, you control the kingdom, is how I always saw his motivation. So I didn't really like it at first, but I mean, it's still kind of cute and it made for a little fun, like made for a fun character. And I don't need to view this as like canon of how like the real lore behind Bowser and stuff. Like this is a little fun spin-off,
Yeah.
if anything. No, I didn't mind it. It was kind of cool. And in Super Mario Odyssey, that's what Bowser's trying to do. He's the last scene is like the wedding, and you like bust in on the wedding and save her while they're about to get married and stuff. And he has his little piranha plant bouquet, and like it was cute, and I didn't mind it. And towards the end, I was like, I was loving the gushy side of Bowser. That was kind of adorable.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a cool reference. I like their
Other Odyssey, yeah,
yeah, I do like their references. So
yes,
Princess Peach
which
has
is most of
to
the movie.
yeah, so Princess Peach has to save the day. They come up with a
Mhm.
plan. There is a training montage of Mario like learning how the kingdom works and all the power ups, which is a
Yep.
fun way for him to learn his powers. I like that he wasn't just overpowered at the beginning. Like you can see that he's actually not very good and he's
Mhm.
learning as he goes. But to be able to bring sort of enough people to help them save the day, they have to go into the jungle realm.
Yep.
And the introduction of Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's my favorite. I
Oh,
love
really?
Donkey Kong.
I was
He
like, as in, like, do you mean in this movie or just as a character? He's your favorite?
both. I loved him.
Wow.
He
Okay.
was the star of the show for me, more than Jack Black. I
Wow.
love Donkey Kong. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
How different we view this. Continue.
Well, Donkey Kong is essentially me. Like if I
Yep.
was a character in this film,
Yeah.
that's me. And I
Yeah.
love him. Who was the voice? Seth Rogen was the voice of
Seth
Donkey
Rogen
Kong.
was the voice.
Yeah.
They even have a joke where the punchline is literally Seth Rogen's laugh.
Yeah.
Hearing Donkey Kong have that laugh broke me a little bit. That's the one character I didn't think needed to be in it. I didn't actually like Donkey Kong in this.
Oh,
I think Seth
really?
Rogen's a really bad choice. I think his voice is way too characteristic for the character. He didn't feel like a big dumb ape. He did,
He
but
did.
he felt like Seth Rogen playing a
Uh,
big dumb ape.
he felt like a he felt like a more masculine version of Seth Rogen.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I did not like Donkey Kong in this movie at all. If they do another movie or they do a spin-off in the entire Jungle Kingdom, I would love it, but I don't think Seth Rogen's the right choice.
Okay.
That's the one I didn't like. There you go. How
Okay.
interesting. It's your favorite too.
Yeah. So to be able to get the Jungle King to support, Mario has to face off in combat with
Hmm.
their champion, who
Hmm.
appears to be Donkey Kong. As he comes in, Donkey Kong does the chest dance. Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it so much. I giggled so
What people
hard.
want. Yeah, I laughed at the character for sure. I like that scene, except for the fucking he actually said it's unlike Donkey Kong. Like, come on.
Yeah. No, you got to lean into it. It has to be. If they didn't
Come
throw that
on.
in there, you have to be
No,
you got to be self-aware in this film.
not to that point. That's so
Yes, you
shit.
do.
Mm-mm.
It was like there was a it's a me Mario slow-mo as he's like saving the day. And you don't reckon
Yeah,
it's not self-aware?
no, but
It's on like
like
Donkey Kong.
that's it's unlike
No.
Donkey Kong. That's like a fourth wall to a degree. Like
Where he's
that's what.
mate, there is an ape that's doing the chest dance and front double bicep,
Yeah,
and
and
you think it's not
situational
self.
comedy. That's like, haha, look at that guy. But
So it's
just the
on like Donkey Kong.
one-liners. No,
He's the
I
champion
just
of
think
the
it's
Jungle
cheap.
Kingdom. No, I loved it. He
Okay,
is my favorite.
fair.
So there's a whole Jungle Kingdom, so we get to see a combat in the Jungle Kingdom, and like you knew it was coming. I was waiting for the Mario Kart reference, and
Oh,
we got the probably went for a little bit too long. There was one part where I actually cringed, where it
yep.
was when they were on it's Rainbow Road, right? Where they're
Mm-hmm.
and you've got the progression of the carts, which I think is up to the current Mario Kart. I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, but where it goes into Rainbow Road and the hover cars is
Yeah, yeah,
that's the newest one, yeah,
yeah. More or less, yeah.
yeah. And they're one of the turtle toad thingos gets stopped and it's like you can't outrun me, and then it went to like a blue shell.
Oh, the blue shell.
I hated
Yeah.
that whole.
Oh, why'd you hate that?
I just didn't like it. I felt that was too self-aware. I was like,
What? But
yeah,
that's the same
no,
level of self-aware as it's on like Donkey Kong.
no, but I felt like that suited Donkey Kong because he's like essentially a knob.
The
And
blue shells in Mario Kart are like they're homing. There's unavoidable. They blow you up.
yes, but
They
I
like
just
that's
hated
exactly
that.
what.
No, I hated how it came about. Where he was like, "You can't outrun me." Like his car was done, and he was like, "You can't outrun me," and then he became a blue
Yeah.
shell.
I mean, I did write. Why wouldn't he just use the blue shell from the beginning rather than this whole intricate driving? Yeah, that part I agree with, but I think that's the same level of self-aware as a lot of the rest of it. I don't think that is a standout for me.
No, it's a standout. It
In fact, that
sucked.
was kind of like, oh, the blue shell. Like for those who know it, it's like, oh, fucking blue shell. It's a frustrating thing. You can't outrun it. He's right. Can't outrun it.
Yeah, but I just didn't like how it came about. I felt like
Okay.
it didn't suit. It was kind of out of the blue reference, where at least Donkey
Uh,
Kong, it, like built it. See,
okay.
yeah,
If you say so.
I do, and my word is law.
Yeah. Look, keep going. We'll get to the end, and then I'll sort of give my overall piece. But yeah, they're in this moment of them with the whole Mario Kart thing, they do this like building the cart sequence. Um, and like Thunderstruck is playing in the background for some reason. I'll get to that later as well. There's two big things with this that sort of annoy me the most. But anyway, keep going. We're near the end.
Yeah, so the Mario Kart part is it went probably too long.
Yeah, we bit.
Yeah, but then we get old Bowser and Princess Peach face off, where he gives her the ultimatum of either marrying him or destroying the entire town. It felt, yeah, like it felt forced in terms of how they got her to actually marry. So the little magic turtle thingo got Toad and threatened to hurt him. Where
Mm-hmm.
it was just like, yes, I didn't actually see I guess, the setup of her being like she was never going to marry him. I thought she'd just go through with it to save her kingdom. But
Yeah, I was expecting. I thought they would even get to us the wedding scene and be like, "Speak now, ever hold your peace," sort of thing, and Mario burst through. Like that's I was still expecting it to get to that point. But yeah,
yeah, I wasn't prepared for her to all of a sudden just come out with ice powers. Have ice powers
yep.
always been a thing, or is that
Yeah,
new?
there's ice. The blue flowers, red
Oh,
flowers you shoot fire, and the blue
hmm
flowers you shoot like ice. Yep.
is that from
They were later.
later games?
hmm
Okay,
hmm
uh,
I want to say Super Mario 3D World on 3DS. I think
okay.
introduced it. I could be wrong there.
Okay, I do. I remember the fire, and we even get the cat suits. So
Cat suit,
I have
Tanuki suit.
played. I played the newer Bowser's World with the cat suits on the Switch. So
Hmm.
my son and I have played bits and pieces of that. So
Yep.
kind of cool reference to the old cat suit. I didn't know that the cat suits were that sort of popular. Like, are they a popular addition, or is it just
People
a
like it. Yeah,
okay?
people like it because they're like almost a furry thing. But no,
Okay.
it's people like it as well for like a it's cute. It's Mario in a Santa suit. Santa suit in it. What the fuck? Mario in a cat suit. Santa
Yeah.
on the brain, Jesus.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. The cat suits get involved.
Hmm.
Then you've got the team up and the big confrontation for Bowser. And Bowser obviously gets done by the superstar, which is his over downfall. There's a reference
Yeah.
to getting the star, becoming invincible. I didn't mind
Hmm.
that. Like, I kind of expected that as it sort of went along, that at some point would see
Yeah.
the invincibility star. It makes
Yeah.
sense that it allows them to beat Bowser, because Bowser, he's pretty powerful. Like
Yeah.
it was
100%. His
was
entire army.
yeah. I To be honest, I didn't know that Bowser was a turtle. I don't know what I thought he was. I thought he was more of a lizard
He's
than a turtle. But
yeah, he is sort of yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say he's a turtle. He has a shell, but he's not necessarily a turtle.
they made reference to him being a turtle
They do. They
consistently.
say we're like, oh, I'll get you your own turtle. But I wouldn't actually agree with that. Like, yes,
Okay.
he's obviously modeled after a turtle, but I wouldn't say like if someone said what animal was Bowser, I'd probably say dinosaur before I said turtle.
Okay.
Personally,
Yeah.
looking at my
I,
Lego model next to me.
I wasn't I was shocked by that. I wasn't sure that he was a turtle. Never thought of him
Yeah,
as a turtle. But well, that's all
that was
right.
pretty cool. And like that end, the end, I guess the climax where they are got the superstar and they're charging through the crowd um was pretty badass. Like I thought that was really cool the way that they sort of stood their ground. And like anything hit them, like they had like superpower, I guess, where they had no mass, they had 100% mass or whatever you want to call it, where nothing would affect them, push them, whatever. And that's true to the superstar. So yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I like that in little sequence.
Yeah.
I think it was fitting, and I'm glad that like what I was expecting it to be was Luigi in a cage. Mario saves Luigi by killing Bowser. But I'm really glad that the end climax was the bros together and that Luigi got his sort of redemption as well.
Yeah.
Because
I
as much as he is a coward, he's still a hero.
I feel Luigi got probably nerfed a little bit, or underdone, or
A little.
undershined a little.
Yep.
Like, he was captured for most of the film, and he didn't
Yep.
really have his time to shine. I guess everyone knows Mario. Mario is the main character,
Yeah.
but
Only the same as Mario.
I feel like Luigi should have probably got a little bit more sort of free airtime. But
Yeah.
you
But the
need
alternative was having Princess Peach as the one in
yeah,
distress, which was never an option in
no.
2023.
He could have been on the run a bit more and exploring a bit more of like Bowser's world or something.
Yep.
But I
And
guess
that's what
that
I thought when he first landed with the dry bones and stuff. I thought that's what he was going to be doing. I thought he was going to be surviving and running, not fighting, but like running away and always getting the escape. Um, and that would be a bit more cat and mouse. But he was just caught within the first like 20 minutes, and that was it.
yeah,
But yeah, would I prefer they made it longer by adding more of that? Probably not.
no, that was
But they could
yeah.
have done less Mario.
Could have done less kart, less Mario
Oh
Kart,
yes,
and
which gets
more
me to
Luigi. Go.
my biggest gripe is this is very much a and then film. I watched this years ago. I watched this lecture. The guy Trey Parker and the other guy from South Park did this lecture at some college university in America about like story writing, and they talked about story writing needs to be this happens, therefore this happens, or this happens, but this happens. Whereas bad story writing is this happens and then this happens, and that's what this movie is. It's always just this happens and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens. Like Okay, cool. They're with visiting Peach. They visit Peach. Peach says, I need to do a trial. Sure, that's probably a but. I'll come with you, but you gotta do this trial. No worries, that's fine. They do the trial, and then it's just, and then they go to the Jungle Kingdom, and then they build Mario Karts, and then they race those carts and do a fight sequence with all these carts that don't exist in the Mario world. And then they do this, and then they do that. Like it's just event after event after event. Like it's obvious they sat down with the IP and went, okay, need to have a Mario sequence, need to have a Jungle Kingdom sequence with DK. We need to have the end fight needs to be a superstar, this and that, whatever. Like you can see that list that they went through and figured out everything they need to tick off. And then they just found a way to link scenes together and wrote a and then story. And I know that's what I was expecting it to be, but I know it's a kids movie, and I'm sick of that being an excuse though, because it's not. You can make a kids movie and still make it a good movie with good story writing. There are so many animes that prove that. There are so many other good animated movies out there that prove that. Disney, early Disney, 90s Disney. This was just scene after scene after scene of colors and sounds and references. And I like the references. Luigi's ringtone at the start of the film in the first like few minutes is the GameCube. Like that's cool. I like that. And all the references are fun and I had a pretty good time, all things considered. But the writing is so fucking boring. Like surely someone could do better than this. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, I had a great time. I went into it and tried to make sure I didn't go in with any like previous thoughts or conceptions about the film, but I really had a good time. Yes, it was a bit lazy with the writing and it was a simple story, but it was enjoyable. Like it was
Mm.
one of those films where I could go in as a family and I had a good time, my kids had a good time, and it wasn't just me sitting there going, this is hard to watch. Like I've been to it quite a number of those films. Like I've seen pretty much all the Paw Patrol films, and
Right.
they are hard to sit through. But
Sure.
like this was enjoyable. I had a good time. I would probably rewatch it with the kids when it comes
Mm-hmm.
out onto. I don't know what streaming service will pick it up, but I feel like it will probably be. I don't know. I was going to say Disney, but I'm not sure Disney.
What else is Illumination on? Binge? What?
Maybe.
We watched the Grinch movie on Binge, right?
Yeah, but that's been on Netflix as well.
Okay.
So I don't
Guess
know
we'll see.
who will pick it up. But
Mm,
for me, it was enjoyable. It was it wasn't just over chocks with references. Like I know they've got
yeah.
a big backlog to get there. My only sort of big gripe was that the cart scene went on too long.
Hmm.
Like they did quite a good job with it, considering when we first watched the trailer, we're like, "Oh, this could be really, really bad." But I think they've
Yeah.
done quite a good job with it. So,
Yeah.
like,
Also, it's better than I expected.
if I'm gonna rate it, I'm probably might be a little bit generous, but I had a great time, and it's a 4.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like it was enjoyable. I had a good time. My kids had a good time, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of keen to watch it again and see if that sort of
Yeah.
changes.
That's fair. I can see that. And I think, like you said, I think this is much more than I was expecting it to be. Like I really, really thought that I was going to get mad watching this and watching all the trailers. This is going to be fucking so shit. Why are they even doing this? Terrible casting. Yes, there were some problems, but it was still like pretty fun. One more thing before I do give it a rating. One more thing that did annoy me though, just to get to the last point before I do give it a good rating. Um, I'm sick of movies just trying to throw in popular songs or like songs that they know people will be like, oh yeah, I know this song, and thinking that's like how to do a good soundtrack. Like I mentioned earlier, Thunderstruck comes on when they're building their cars. It means nothing. Like the song has nothing to do with cars or carts or Mario. There's no connection to the film. The themes don't match. It doesn't match the universe. But oh, because it's a song people are gonna like, we'll throw it in. There were needle drops throughout this entire movie where it's literally only in there because they're popular songs people are going to enjoy and be like, oh, I know this song. And the music I did like though were when they used the original soundtrack or the original music from Mario, but like obviously, made it a bit more modern. Even the classic for the superstar at the end, they had that in like an epic version for the end climax song. Like that stuff's kind of cool because that's reference, but it's a modern version and amps it up and epics it up for the film. I think more of that was necessary and less like stop just giving me montage scenes with pick a random pop song that people like. Oh, cool, we'll do this one or the one that's the cheapest or whatever. Like, anyway, it's another one of those things that annoyed me, but there's not much. I actually had a pretty good time with this. I thought it was way better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not sure I'd still get up there as like a 4. Um, it's a very generic kids family film in terms of everything about it, if I'm honest. Um, but it's fine and it was pretty fun and I really liked Bowser. It's like a 3. It's good enough for what I wanted it to be. And considering how I went into it and how I was picturing this months ago, I was so sure it was gonna be a 1. It wasn't bad, and I'll probably rewatch it.
Okay. Yep. That's fair. Fair.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
cool beans.
But let's move on to a much darker tone, and it is the Pope's Exorcists. So this
Big shift.
this is following along with the real based on a real life story. So we have been following a number of based on real life stories. Again, this has been dramatized for the screen, but this is based on the memoirs of the actual Pope's Exorcist. So the religion side gets me a little bit confused because I'm not overly religious myself. So I
Sure.
get confused where if the Pope is which religion? Is it Christianity or is it Catholic? I get very, very confused to which.
It's Catholicism, I'm pretty sure, but I think some other Christian denominations also fall under it as well.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
I'm not 100% sure about that.
No.
Well,
So
Christianity is like the big umbrella term, and then Catholicism is a type of Christianity. Um, Jesus Christ Latter Day Saints is a type of Christianity. All those, whatever, they're all types of Christianity.
right. Okay. Yeah. So I
So,
get very, very confused with it all because it's got big words and I add letters and all sorts of things that happen. But this follows, I'm going to butcher these names. So sorry, everyone who's into correct name
Gabriel
pronouncing.
Amorth. It's like Amort, but no.
Gabriel Amorth, the Vatican's leading exorcist, as he investigates the possession of a child and uncovers a conspiracy the Vatican has tried to keep secret.
Yep.
All right. So obviously our main character is the Pope. Not the Pope, the Pope's exorcist.
Pope's Exorcist.
How did I get
Yep.
that wrong already, considering it's the name of the film? But it is Russell Crowe. So he's back in action. And one of our friends actually said that his accent sounds terrible, where I didn't think it was that bad.
I wrote, I wrote his voice sounds like a bad Dracula impression.
Oh, really?
There are times where he sounded like I want to suck your blood.
I liked it. I liked everything about Russell Crowe's performance. I had a great time.
You're allowed to.
I had a great time with him being the Pope's exorcist. But this is following a family that moved to Spain. So the father dies in a car accident that gets a little bit kind of in spoiler territory, but it's the trauma that leads to the kid's possession. So there's a car accident. The father dies
after that.
The kid witnesses the father being impaled by, was it a tree? I think it was a tree or something.
Tree pole.
Yeah, something impales the father, and the kid unfortunately is witness to it, and he stops speaking from there on. The daughter, so the mother has an older daughter who is very upset and rebellious about having to move to Spain to this house that's been in the father's family for years. So because they don't have an income coming in for whatever reason. I don't know if the mum worked or didn't work. I'm assuming she didn't. I don't know what the father did either. That part was never fully explained. But
Yeah, no.
they are doing remodeling this house so that they're able to sell it so they can move back to the States. As this house is being renovated, it's something gets uncovered, the child gets possessed, and it says, "Bring me the priest." So
Yeah, the house. Oh, we mentioned the house used to be an abbey, so it's like an old place of worship.
okay, that got a little bit lost on me.
Fair.
So I didn't know what an abbey
This movie
was
wasn't
either.
overly good at relaying information, if I'm honest.
Okay, good. So it wasn't just me.
No,
Good.
it's also
So,
not entertaining enough to make me want to listen either.
oh
But
really?
we'll get to that later.
Right. So before that all happened, but that's the main sort of gist of the entire film is that the kid gets
Mhm.
possessed and the uh, the priest has to come in and save the day. But
Yeah.
we get a exorcism at the start where they're able to get the name of the demon that is possessing whoever it is, and they're able to put the demon into a pig, and then they shoot the pig, which
Yep.
gets referenced a number of times. There is a lot of Latin that gets thrown around. There's also quite a lot of subtitles. I don't understand why it's not just all in English. Like, I understand that they needed to throw some.
It was Italian. It's set in the Vatican at the start, so it's in Italian.
Yes, but he like swaps and changes. Like sometimes they're in Italian, and then all of a sudden the next couple of lines are in English. It was like, are they just setting the tone that it's being spoken in that language, or is it they're
Yeah,
going?
I saw it more as like those who are local, those who grew up there, those who are from the Vatican, all speak Italian to each other. But then the scenes that they start speaking English are the scenes either in Spain or the scenes where there are like outsiders coming in, like when he's being talked to by that like tribunal.
Yeah.
And they're like, you need to speak in English because they speak in English. They're not
Okay.
from the Vatican. So I guess that's how I saw it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little bit confused. I was just like, why don't you just talk in English? And then I don't know
Yeah,
where
this wasn't much, to be honest.
the film is being spread across sort of everywhere. But I assume this was mainly for an English audience, considering most of
Yeah.
it is in English. So we are getting a little bit of sort of history or character building of who I guess the exorcist is, or who the priest is, which is played by Russell Crowe, which I forget his name already, which is Gabriel.
Yep.
Yep. So he's been bestowed by the Pope that he is the chief exorcist, where he seems a little bit above the law, because I'm not sure that the tribunal that's
Yeah.
talking to him is sort of like on his side of like what he has to do or what he's sort of dealing with. He's
Yeah, from what I understand as well, the original guy this is based on was a bit of a loose cannon in the church as well.
Yeah. Well, I figure if you're exercising people and dealing with demons, I feel like your methods may need to be a little bit extreme. I don't know, based off all the
Yeah, I'm not
exorcism
sure.
movies I've seen, is
Yeah.
like, yeah, it seems pretty intense. So the the child the child actor that is possessed, like, pretty freaky. The kid did a good job. I thought the makeup artists and whatnot did a pretty good job with his
Oh, really?
visual appearance. You didn't like it?
Oh, it looked fine, but I couldn't help but picture a kid rolling around going rah, 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 in
I
bed with
don't
stage
know.
makeup. That's all I
Uh,
could see. I laughed more than I was
oh,
scared.
really? I wasn't scared. I just thought the voice and everything about the possession was quite good. Like, there was a number of times where I was like, that's pretty freaky. Like, well done. I
Yeah, I struggled to immerse myself in this enough to not just
Okay.
see actors,
Right.
if I'm honest. Yeah,
Right. I do like the Exorcist was a really good film. It
absolutely.
used to scare the pants off me. I thought this had moments where it was kind of quite cool, with the obviously there was a bigger, stronger demon that is possessing the kid, and I like how I guess the danger or the sense of urgency that you've kind of got is that the demon eats away at the host body. So like
Hmm.
they have to actually have a reason to hurry up to try and get this demon out. Like if it was
Yeah.
just a demon that possessed them and didn't do any harm to the body or the vessel, it would be like, oh, well, we can just take our time. But this demon was quite manipulative. So the once it asked for the priest, I can't remember how the local priest got hold of the information. Like, did they go and seek the priest out? Like, there was, I don't know
Yeah, they
how
did.
that
They
they
went and
did.
saw him, I think, and they were like asking for you or something.
I couldn't remember if that
Yeah,
was
I,
an actual scene or not.
if I'm honest, the whole like first half we just sort of do like skip, let's move on. So
But
I did definitely lose track a little bit.
okay, yeah. So if there was a scene with that, it was pretty quick. So word gets back to the Vatican that there is this possession that's happening, and this part I started laughing, and I messaged you about this. So once the Vatican learns about this possession, they tell that the Pope and the Exorcist have this conversation. He's like, "You need to go to Spain. There's a possession," and then there's this moped transition of him traveling to Spain,
Hmm.
and I honestly believe that he traveled from the Vatican to Spain on a moped,
On a moped.
which is
They showed us that he did because we saw his moped in Spain.
yeah. And what was it? What was the distance that he traveled? It was like a
You said it was
20,
like you said it was like 2,000 kilometers or something when you
yeah,
messaged me. I didn't even think
Vatican.
about that. I'm like, but I was like, yeah, sure, no worries. Like I didn't actually click, and you were like, yeah, that's like 20 hours of driving or something, or 12 hours or something. Fuck on his little moped.
Yeah, like they don't travel at a fast speed. Like, what's the
No,
top speed of a moped? Like, he didn't
I
look
think they're
like
only
he
like 50 cc little, or even 25 cc. I think they're like max of 80,
like he was not moving quickly at all. Like
40
even
miles per hour, which is like 70.
you don't have to wear a helmet for that.
Yeah, right. In the Vatican.
Yeah,
Who knows?
so it would take you 21 hours to travel in a car from the Vatican to Spain.
As in a car at car
Yeah,
speed,
at
not
car
moped
speed.
speed.
I don't know what moped
This
speed
fucking
is.
guy. Yeah, no shit. That's
So
insane. I
even
didn't even
though
click on that, but yeah.
even though they've got the like the urgency to have to get this demon out of this kid, he's just on a moped. Like,
Yeah, he's off.
surely you got a plane, you got something, but
Yeah. I
it's
think even
a
train systems over there would be pretty decent getting you from Italy to Spain. But
no. So
yeah, whatever.
so flying is 2 hours and 35 minutes if you flew directly
No,
across.
not important enough.
No,
Get that boy in a moped.
apparently it's only $146 to fly from Spain
Too
to the
much for the
Vatican
Vatican.
City.
Get that boy a moped.
Get him a moped, get him out there. It looked like a new moped too. He looked like he was
Yeah,
having,
new for whenever this was set, 90s or whatever.
yeah, he looked like he was having a reasonable time on the moped.
Loves it.
But yeah, so whatever reason, he rocks up, he teams up with the other local priests, and the local priest unfortunately has a few secrets that he has never told anybody about how he's sleeping with the
Hmm.
who was it? It was the daughters of
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, I can't remember. But it's it's all about the demon getting into their secrets, them having to atone for their own sins to be able to
Hmm.
not have anything that the demon can pull on. The demon
Yeah.
seems to be quite powerful. There's a few twists and turns. We'll head into a little bit of spoiler territory, but it's able to take control of the sister. Like, I've never
Hmm.
seen a demon be able to possess multiple people at the same time. We do get the little bit of a cliche of the old limbs turning and climbing up the walls,
Yes.
which was
Yes.
a little bit difficult.
It
Like,
didn't
that
even serve
was
a purpose. She was on the
no,
ground, like a foot away from them, and then she just like up the wall on the ceiling, like they were just ticking boxes.
Yeah, like that part was odd. I did like
Very.
how the house all of a sudden had the Vatican seal. There was the other exorcists that had tried to get rid of this demon already had put themselves in this. What would you call it? It was like kind of a tortury kind of
Yeah,
entrapment.
like a torture cage. Yeah.
Yeah, which that part's a little bit lost to me because they said they needed the this to stop the demon from being able to escape, or it was protecting the exorcist from the demon. Like I was unsure
Yeah,
entirely
I was
about
over it.
that. Okay, but it did escalate quite quickly after a bit of a slow burn at the start. It
Yes.
it escalated quite quickly. It was only about an hour and a half. We didn't really get a lot of information presented. We got some information presented about the Pope's exorcist history, how he's in the war,
Hmm.
and how I think I remember looking up to see exactly how true this was based on. So I think on his deathbed, he actually gave the green light for the producers to be able to create the film.
Oh, sure.
So it's based on his memoirs. And it was like out of every 800 people, only one or two are actually possessed by a demon. The rest just have mental illness or something else.
Yeah,
And
I remember you saying that. Hmm.
that is kind of touched on where he's presented with a lady, which it wasn't his wife or anything. It was just a lady. I can't remember the connection now,
Me either.
but she originally they didn't believe her and that she was possessed, and then uh, says, "Do you believe me now?" And then jumps off one of
Yeah, and
a tall building.
she dies. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's one of the things that he is unable to forgive himself with, and he has to atone
Hmm.
for that so that he's able to expel the demon in the end. Where I didn't mind it. It sort of was exploring new territory, but it also didn't really do the horror or the other exorcism parts well enough
No,
to be able to like really mesh this and stand out on its own. It's just
exactly.
I don't know. It was interesting, but it wasn't interesting enough to be or done well enough that you're
Exactly.
sort of really keen for it. Also, I'm
No.
not sure if it's worth mentioning, but we didn't see this at the movies. We saw this elsewhere, and there was a there was a man breathing
Heavy
consistently
breathing.
consistently throughout the film,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if he was asleep or if he was like what was happening, but about the
Definitely asleep.
about the 20-minute mark there was some heavy breathing happening, and it got consistent, and then he must have got into the film in the last half an hour because it was like rapid breathing. It was bizarre. I've never
I had a
experienced
very
anything.
similar experience to him, to be honest. This
Oh,
movie did nothing for so long. It was just people talking, like going from room to room and talking, and then they give us some more information. And because some of it wasn't touched on later, I almost got to a point where I didn't know what was relevant anymore. And I just stopped listening. I stopped giving a shit about anything that was happening. And then we got these really like some of the end scenes. Some of it's dumb because they're trying to tick, trope boxes, but some of it was really fucking cool. Some of the like gore scenes and some of the practical effects and stuff, pretty impressed by. I think I heard that the guy who made this, or the director of this, Julius Avery, did like Overlord, which I heard is a pretty spectacular and bloodthirsty film. Um, but this movie didn't do enough new. Like watching this, it made me just want to watch Exorcism of Emily Rose or Exorcist 3 again. Like it reminded me of better things that have done this better than this has. And I was just bored. I had nothing to do the entire movie.
mhm.
Um, like the information delivery was dry as hell. The inconsistency of voices, and I mean some of the characters were fine, but I didn't care about anything. It was just the same old trope. There's like a moody daughter with a single mom, and the kid, like it might as well be fucking Stranger Things. There's a kid who goes to the bad side, and the mum and the daughter have to work together. And I don't care. I didn't care at all about anything that was happening, and it was just another movie. And if you're gonna watch this, you're going to want to go watch something better straight after, because it's just there's not enough substance there.
Yeah. I also didn't understand why they were able to touch the object. I know it's like a holy object, but they were able to touch it on the head and it exploded. Like, was that just gore, like
Yeah,
shock value? And then the other demon was able to fall into this pit of lava. And then is that sending it down to hell? Or is that like I'm
don't know.
confused how that exorcism works.
Yeah, I stopped caring.
Right.
This
Yeah.
movie didn't give me enough
Okay.
to want to grab onto it, and I was on my phone. I was looking at other stuff online.
Yeah.
I was
I,
yeah,
I was intrigued with the Pope's exorcist, how it's an actual real person and a real
mm,
position. Like it's kind of really interesting to see that
sure.
they had a whole. I'm not sure they had a team. I think it was just he was the person that did it. Like, was
Mm.
there a team of exorcists? He was like the head exorcist. Like, is there?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. It's interesting.
I tried watching a video on Watch Mojo YouTube, and I was like, the differences or the real story of the guy behind Pope's Exorcist, and even that was boring as hell.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
didn't pay attention.
I like the whole like demons, angels, devils, all that sort of stuff. I find it interesting.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Mm,
unfortunately, the film didn't do it for me though.
yeah,
So
it's very
it
unexciting.
missed the mark. I did enjoy Russell Crowe. I thought he was actually kind of fun as the guy.
Yeah,
So for me, it was
it was
like
fine.
a two. It was a two, only because of Russell Crowe. I
Yeah,
laughed
that's fair.
a few times. But yeah.
Yeah, I laughed. I laughed probably more than the movie wanted me to. I couldn't. Every almost every scene with the kid in the bed was just comedy for me. Like I think
Right.
you could add some like goofy music in the back, and it would be a comedy. And what was I was gonna mention something else? Oh, the CGI mouth. They did this thing where the mouth would like go really big and like unhinge the jaw. They did it with the kid, and they did it with Russell Crowe, and it looked really bad. I just feel like we're at a point now where CG needs to look fucking spectacular. Or don't do it. There's no reason to have that unhinged jaw thing. It didn't make it any scarier.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, 1.5 for me.
Okay.
Like there was probably some cool scenes. Like I said, there's moments towards the end where I'm like, oh, that was interesting, but there's not enough. There's no substance to this. Like I said, there's 1,000 better exorcism movies, and there's three I can think of straight away that I would rather watch before this. So it was a nothing movie. 1.5 is probably generous.
Okay. Fair. All right, let's move on to Beef, the brand new show that is taking over on Netflix. So I feel like we're going to have split decision on this one.
Okay.
And I am very interested to see your point of view on this one. So this
Okay.
is apparently a comedy drama. It's about two people let a road rage incident burrow into their minds and slowly consume their every thought and action. So this is Stephen Yun.
Steven Yeun. Yep.
Yep, and Ali Wong. So Ali Wong
Mm-hmm.
is a stand-up comedian, and this was not what I was expecting from Ali Wong. I was coming into this thinking it was going to be kind of similar to her stand-up. She is a
Mm-hmm.
very different character than her stand-up. So
Right. Right.
I was
I haven't
not
actually seen her stand up.
okay. She's pretty funny. She's very shock kind of humor. She like
Okay.
builds and then a shock line, which is fine. I don't mind the old shock humor.
Sure.
So obviously,
Just looking at our previous history as well. Sorry, Stephen Yeun is from Nope.
no,
Uh,
is he?
look back on our history. Yeah,
Oh yeah, and
he was the
that film was a note from me, and this
you
series was
idiot.
a note from me.
He was the like the video tech guy who was setting all the cameras up and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh no, he wasn't. No, he
no, and
wasn't.
there's the cowboy bloke, wasn't he?
He was the cowboy. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was the child that survived the monkey attack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah. So people are calling this, just to give you some perspective on it, people are calling this a
Mhm.
perfect series. I I don't see how people are calling it this.
Yeah,
So
that's big.
that's a big call. Like you would probably say Breaking Bad is the
Yeah, to me,
yeah,
Breaking Bad's perfect.
yeah.
Yep.
To me, In Betweeners is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the first episode, we are presented to our two main characters who get in a road rage incident. So Steven's character, which is Danny.
Hmm.
Danny is he's a sort of a jack of all trades kind of guy. Like he does everything. Sort of like a handyman.
Handyman. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he calls himself a contractor.
yeah.
Someone calls it handyman. He's like, I'm a contractor.
I don't know if
But,
that is that like a American thing where a contractor is, because do we have contractors here in Australia?
we have contractors here, but contractors here are people who like a contractor would be someone who works at like a housing development and they hire all the brickies and the plumbers and electricians and all that
Okay,
sort of stuff.
all right. But in America, there a contractor is a person like a jack of all trades.
I don't know. I think that's just he's trying to make himself sound more important than he actually is. Like I think that's just part of his character is that handyman sounds such like a nothing job, but a contractor sounds respectable.
Okay, yeah,
So I
gotcha,
saw it.
gotcha. And then he's got a brother. His brother was is
Paul.
Paul.
Hmm.
Paul doesn't work, but is into crypto gaming and a number of other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So Stephen, Danny's character is a little bit down on his luck. He's trying to return something or other. I'm not sure if that was like a scam or like what he was trying to pull. And I
No,
think
he bought four like propane gas grills because he was trying to kill himself. And
ah,
he read online like the most painless way to kill yourself. And there was like this tutorial on these using these propane gas burners and whatever. So that's what he bought them for. And then he decided not to kill himself and he's trying to return them. And the
right.
guy was like, "No, you've opened them or whatever. You got the receipt." No, that's right. He said you got the receipt. It's like, "Fuck, you won't return them then."
Right. That bit was a bit lost on me. I missed the part
Yeah,
where
you
he was
find that out
trying
later.
to kill himself. But have you seen how much of this have you seen? Did you watch it all or did you just watch the three?
I stopped myself at three.
Okay.
I was like, oh, I'll watch the rest. I was going to watch it all in the sitting, actually, because I
Okay.
had some time. Um, but I didn't. I watched three.
Okay. Cool. Right. So as he's leaving the hardware store or wherever he bought the propane gases, he's about to
Mhm.
reverse. Ali Wong's character, who is Amy, is stopped behind him and beeps him. And then there's a confrontation of them, well, of Danny's character chasing Amy's character
Yeah.
throughout the street. And like it was a pretty cool car chase. Like I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is very well shot, like well done. The
Hmm.
angles, the camera changes, it felt like it was quite intense. Like there was a number of parts where I'm like, "Oh, you're in trouble here." He's on the other
Yeah.
side of the road. That felt like there was actual danger to the characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
It was all his perspective. I liked. Like we
yeah,
only saw her hand, so we didn't even know if it was a man, woman, whatever. I like that because at that point we've just seen his world. So yeah, I actually kind of like that.
yeah. So after the car scene, from memory, the car scenes sort of they come to a T junction or another sort of hard turning point where Ali's character starts to reverse at him, stops just short, and then drives off.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
She
it's something similar.
she's turning right and he cuts through someone's front yard
That's
in
right.
order to like cut her off. Um, and then yeah, she pretends to hit him, scares him, beeps, drives off, gives him the finger.
Yeah. So then we get to learn about each of the separate lives. We learn that Amy is was she I got a little bit confused with her job. She's a art like not sort of
Yeah,
curator, or she owns an art exhibit, or if it's a
yeah. I think she's like a designer or an artist of some description because she is trying to sell their brand to some woman, Naomi. Well, no, it wasn't Naomi. Whatever her name was, some
isn't
Jordan,
it? Yeah, that's it.
some white blonde woman. Yeah, I think she owns a studio or like because he makes vases and stuff, but that's not what she necessarily sells. That was a little lost on me too, if I'm honest. Like what exactly she was or what her business was that they ran. But she ran a business. She ran a business, and it was to do with art and design. And she was like, she's in the upper echelon of community, of society. She's being invited to all these like, high profile dinners and all that sort of shit. She has to
Yeah,
pretend to be happy and blah 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 blah.
yeah. I couldn't work out exactly what she did, but then
Yeah, ditto.
I couldn't work out what her husband did. So her husband makes like
He makes
sculptures,
art. Yeah, like sculptures,
but like,
vases and stuff.
is
But he's a stay-at-home dad.
she's the main breadwinner?
Yeah.
He's a stay-home dad. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if like he originally had money beforehand, because the mother-in-law of Amy seems very sort of, I don't know, standoffish, like kind of, you've come into our realm, we have the
Mm,
money. That's
hmm
the perception I got. Where if
Yeah,
she,
I think you're right. Actually, thinking it was Fumi.
the mother, the
Go
mother-in-law,
on.
is it Fumi?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm.
So were they well off? Like, I was lost on why she was so
Yeah,
against it, because Amy's
I
character is
watched this a
kind
week
of,
ago as well, so I'm a little unsure.
yeah, because I don't know, there's whatever reason, there's definitely conflict between the mother-in-law and Amy
Yeah.
about whatever. I'm not sure if it was because she came into the family, they had money before, and now she's the
hmm
main person with
I saw it
the art
more as
studio.
like, yeah, I saw it more as like, you're not good enough for my son, sort of thing. I'm not sure if it is to do with money or if it's just, a lot of mother son relationships are very like gatekeepy guardian. No one's good enough for my baby boy, sort of thing. That's sort of how I saw it more.
Okay.
Because he's a bit
That's
of a fucking
that's
child.
that's kind of like Hakimi, who is the soccer player for PSG, the right back. So he's just gone through a
Oh, I saw
divorce,
all that.
and
Yeah, I just saw that on TikTok.
he earns 1 million euros a month or a week or whatever it
Hmm
is,
hmm
and 80% goes to his mother. So all his assets, everything, is in his mother's name.
Yep.
So when his wife filed for divorce and tried to take him for half, he had nothing.
hmm
I don't know. That's just, it reminded me of that. That has no point or reference to this show, but I
Fair.
thought that was funny. But yeah, so whatever reason, there's beef between Amy and the mother-in-law, and obviously there is now beef between Amy and Danny. So there's a number of things that go on. I gotta say, I got bored. I got bored
Okay.
real quick in this show. I don't
Okay.
understand how people, even after 3 episodes, are even remotely interested in this show. I've got
Sure. Okay.
no interest whatsoever in any of the characters. I didn't find Amy likable. I didn't find her,
Yep.
or even Danny. I thought Danny might be an interesting character in terms of where he's going. Like, I kind of liked how he was installing the alarm system for this family. And then the bloke was asking if he knew anyone that could cut down trees. And he's like,
hmm
I'll cut down
I can
some
do it.
trees.
Yeah.
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 And then the wife is trying to get the husband to fire him, but the husband won't fire him because he just
Mm-hmm.
feels bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to cut down these trees with some random blokes that he's handed, well, like, what,
Yeah.
employed off the street. I
Yeah.
think
Probably some illegals.
yeah, I laughed at that scene, and I also laughed when Danny comes into Amy's house and is giving her like a quote about all the things that
Yep.
need to be improved, and then pisses on the floor. That is
Yeah.
it. That is the only two times I actually remotely laughed or giggled. The
But
rest
it's
of
not
the
a comedy.
time, it's literally listed as a comedy drama. People are saying it's
Mm,
hilarious, and like I'm
okay.
confused about what
Interesting,
this.
because I definitely wouldn't say it's a comedy. Like, I don't think it's funny.
Well,
I think it's good.
that's what the tagline is saying. People are saying that it's hilarious in moments, and it's absolutely perfectly cooked piece of beef. That's what people are calling it. I thought this was
Okay.
hard to watch. I don't understand people's excitement for it. Yes, there's some like feelings and unpacking of people's lives in this, but I don't
Yep.
care for it. I
Yep.
don't find them relatable. The husband, Amy, and her husband are going to marriage counseling. They're raising a daughter. There's too much conflict going on. I I don't know what to focus on. I don't know. I got no one that I'm rooting for. Not there's not one character I'm
Okay.
like, I want your life to get better. I don't care about anybody in this actual show.
Okay.
Please
Yeah.
describe to me what in the hell this show's about.
um, look, I think it's good. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think people are fucking getting a bit excited. Like, it's unique, I think, in like you said, there isn't really someone that you're rooting for and that you want to succeed, but they're not really the characters don't have much motivation either. Um, it's sort of like you're sort of just witnessing a moment in time in these people's lives. And I think that to me is what I like the most about it. Like, these people feel like genuine.
Mm,
There's a massive underlying theme throughout all the different characters of just like your place in the world, or sort of appearances versus reality. And, Amy's character is all about external appearance and trying to look wealthy and trying to look like, there's a moment, there's multiple moments where characters say to her, "Oh, I envy your life so much," and, "Oh, you just do it all. How do you do everything?" And, people look at her on this pedestal, whereas we know, and the way that we see this character is she's a mess, and she's sick of putting on this bullshit smile. And the moment of her in road rage is the most genuine moment that she has, and that um plays into her character, and that wanting for a less vanilla life. And that's part of what causes the conflict between her and her husband, is that he's very vanilla, and that she wants a bit more excitement happening. She's everything's going well, but that's also fucking boring. Comfortably numb is what psychologists will call it. Um, I Yeah, and then so you mirror that with Danny's character, who externally is like trash. He tries to put on this facade, but fails at it. Opposite to her, she tries to put on that, does it really well. Um, but that makes his character interesting. He does all these dodgy things, like he's trying to look nice and respectable, but then he just keeps doing dodgy shit. He's now trying to swindle his church that he just went to, had this big emotional fucking epiphany, and now he's trying to swindle them out of money so that he can buy this block of land. He keeps thinking he's doing the right things, but he's really not. He's actually a piece of shit. And I think that to me is what makes this show enjoyable. The characters feel real. I don't necessarily want them to succeed, but I'm very curious what they're going to do next, sort of thing. Um, they feel justified in their, like, the way that Danny keeps behaving. I'm frustrated at him like I am with a friend. Like, I'm watching him, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, you're crashing the world around you. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I find this actually pretty interesting at the moment. I'm gonna watch more. I don't think it's a fucking masterpiece. It's definitely not a five. People need to calm down. The internet just grabs hold of something and then, it goes ape shit. But I haven't seen the rest of this, and I must say that the first two episodes, I was kind of like, yeah, this is okay. It wasn't really until things started developing episode three that I was like, okay, this is actually has some direction. And I feel like the characters are going somewhere, and there's a bit more to the characters than just, oh, my life sucks. Um, I like it. I like it.
yeah. So There's a whole scene where she like masturbates with a gun, and
Hmm.
there's she goes like for this whole revenge. Like, is her whole entire purpose going to be the revenge of in this show? Then she catfishes Danny's brother, and
Yeah.
like there's so many things going on. I don't care about it. I want to root for somebody. I want to be like, yeah, you. I want someone to be like, I want your life to get better. Like,
Hmm.
I don't want to just watch two train wrecks just coming to a head and just imploding their life. Like,
But I think that's we want to watch these characters reach rock bottom and then build from there.
but
And I think that's isn't that to me that's sort of an exciting anticipation. Like where's this gonna end? And where like we if this show say end of season one is Amy gets back with George and they're looking really good and Danny has a bit more success in his business and him and Paul are looking fine, then that's gonna be boring as hell. I want these characters to totally disrupt their lives. I really don't want this as well to end up being Danny and Amy falling in love and it being a shitty fucking romance of opposites attract. That would totally invalidate the rest of the fucking thing. But look, benefit of the doubt, having a good time. I want to watch more. This could end up being really good by the end. I might report back in a week or two and let you know. I know that you're finished watching.
nope, I am not revisiting this one. I would struggle to even watch a 5 minute recap of the entire season. I don't care about it. I do not care about any of the characters. If you're
There's no
gonna,
hero.
hey,
There's no hero.
there's no hero. I want someone to be doing something. Like, I don't mind if it's a person that's like going down to rock bottom, as long as you can see that, I don't know, you can root for him to like get around him. But I don't care
You
about
don't want you don't
any of the
want Danny
characters.
to do better. You don't want him
No,
to turn his life around.
why? What redeeming qualities has he shown?
None.
None. Why would I
That's
root
kind of
for
what
him?
because he's just another human.
But he's
We
got
all
no
have
redeeming qualities, though.
flaws. Yeah, but doesn't mean he's not worthy of love and worthy of a good life. He's not a
Yeah,
murderer. He's not a fucking rapist pedophile.
no. But he's also, why did he take control of his brother's Bitcoin and stuff? Why did
Yeah,
he
because
take?
he thinks he's always doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing by trying to get my family a new property. I'm doing the right thing by getting my brother into business. I'm doing the right thing by getting him out of his room. And like he thinks in his little twisted mentality, he thinks he's doing all the right things, but
And
he's fucking not.
who's the Isaac Chow? The
Who? His
the
cousin.
his cousin. Okay.
Is
Why
that
is
his cousin?
the one that's really rich and like bought him a massage chair, like just with this
Oh
wad of
yeah,
cash?
yeah. He's dangerous for sure.
Like, where's his money come from?
We don't know yet. That's the thing. Yeah, because he was in prison, and now all of a sudden he's got all this money, and he's starting all these business opportunities, and he's loaning people money, and yeah, I think we still yet to find out what happened there. But they keep mentioning the hotel. I think their family used to own a hotel, and by the sounds of it, Isaac was either like cooking meth or was selling or something. And somehow Danny was involved, and because they keep saying, "Oh, this is nothing like the hotel." So I know that somewhere along the lines, Danny and or Isaac have like fucked up the family or something. Um,
I don't know.
that's
It's
why I'm
just
interested, I guess, because there are complexities to this, and it feels like I love character studies. I guess I love um, learning about people, real people. So I ask a lot of questions when I meet new people, and it's a genuine interest of mine. I think characters like this that I feel like I'm watching a real person living out their life. Um, I like that. That suits my brain. So I'm
okay.
enjoying it. For me, it's a it's a it's a cautious four. If
Whoa.
this keeps going well and it doesn't turn into some tropey bullshit, it's probably a four.
Okay.
It's not a masterpiece. It's definitely not a fucking five. People need to calm down. but it's better than just a recommendation. I think it's quite a good show. I'm keen for more.
Wow. All right. I find none of the characters redeeming. I find them not interested. I don't find anything relatable. I don't like it. I'm not interested. I don't care where the story goes. I don't understand why people are all up and about it. Like, there's got to be something more exciting. That's like an hour and a half I've watched, and I don't care. They're what 30 minutes each, and
I think between 45 to 35, I think.
yeah, I don't know. Let's just average it out. It's an hour and a half, and I do not care about a single character. There's not one that I'm like, you're even remotely interesting. I think
You don't find Danny interesting though? Like, yeah,
no,
you can't root for him, but surely he's interesting.
nah. I think the most interesting is Jordan, the absolutely cuckoo lady who wants to buy all the art.
Yeah,
The
yeah, the white lady.
yeah, she's probably
Um,
the most interesting because she's so quirky with all the random relics and
her house and shit. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Okay.
this is a very generous one, just
Wow.
due to the car
That
chase
bad.
scene. I hated it.
Oh my God.
I did not want to watch. Like, I was like, all right, my wife likes Ali Wong, and I'm like, let's watch this together because I'll put it out there.
Hmm.
And what did she say? We lasted 5 minutes
No shit.
after the car
She was
chase.
just done.
We were both done, and I was like, God damn it, I got to watch
Gotta
three
watch more.
episodes of this.
You're right. No
Hated it.
shit. Whereas I reached in at three and I was like, oh, I really do want to watch more, but I probably shouldn't because then I'm gonna get myself confused. And yeah, right.
No,
How interesting. How differently we view stuff like this, you know?
yeah, I like you make good points, but I don't see it.
Yeah, it's just a lot to like. I think there's a lot of I'm excited to finish this, read up about a lot of the stuff they've done, and I know they do like there's a piece of art at the start of every episode with the title of the episode. I'm really interested to go finding out because I've noticed that the art has like a bit of messaging for the themes of the episode. So
Right.
I'm really curious to after I finish all this without experiencing any spoilers to learn about all the things they've done. Because I think this is quite well made, and I know there's a lot of things that right now that are going over my head that I'm going to appreciate later. So
All right. I'm just scrolling through the reviews on IMDb. How this is just review bomb. There's no way it's people are just putting it as a 10. 10 out of 10
not
consistently.
10,
This how? How can you review bomb
not 10.
it so much? Like, what's even Rotten Tomato about it? But who is it?
People bandwagon though. Like as soon as a bunch of critics or a bunch of user reviews will be like, "This is amazing," everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Like people don't have opinions anymore on the internet.
Yeah, right. Well, our opinions are vastly
Yeah.
different. So we were the judge. I would love to. I can't wait to hear back from you because I am not investing my time into this. I've got another 40 hours that I need to include
Fair.
into the old Ryman TV network universe, whatever you want to call it, multiverse.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Whereas I've watched about probably 15 to 20 hours of Below Deck in the
what?
past week.
What?
There's this show. I think because I watch all this stuff, my brain just needs bullshit. There's this show called Below Deck, which is literally just following a team of people who work on like multi-million dollar yachts. Um, and like look after the rich and the famous and do all their linen and cook and whatever. And it's just the drama of these people living on a ship together.
That sounds so
Um,
shit.
it's really shit, but like I'm loving it. it's
Right.
it's like it's addictive in a weird way. So I've been
Okay.
smashing that recently.
Okay.
I probably
Jeez.
like invalidated myself a little bit by mentioning how much I'm enjoying that, but it's
Yeah.
bad. Like it's a fucking it's a one, it's a two, but it's entertaining and it's fun.
Is it like scripted or pre-scripted, or is it like
No, it's like, well, I mean, surely there's some writing that goes into it, what these shows are sort of like, but no, it's meant to be like candid camera watching these people
okay,
on
kind
their
of like
ship, and
Geordie Shorey kind of?
yeah, but not like they're not out and partying and stuff, they're running a ship.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's not following people on the ship on there for holidays. It's following the crew, the
Okay.
deckhands, the bosuns, the captain, the stewardesses, the chef, all that sort of stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's so good. I'm having such a good time with it.
Okay. Well, next week
Anyway,
we've got a different lineup for you. So we've got Jury Duty, which is a Lawson recommendation pick. That's like a
looks so
candid,
fun.
looks like a candid camera kind of thing, doesn't it?
It's really quick. It's a jury. This guy's on jury duty. Every single person there is an actor except one guy, and it's just them. Like, yeah, it's his fake court scene, and this one guy thinks it's real. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm hoping
I've
it's
seen a lot
better
of
than
TikTok. It was
your
pretty funny.
hoping it's better than the other one that you recommended. That was kind of like Who Killed Santa or whatever it was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Murderville. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, it's a similar vein, but not comedians.
Okay. And then we've got the third in the Big Dark trilogy. Well, Big Three. So that is Hell's Paradise. There are 3 episodes out now. So if you're a big fan of anime, the Big Three originally were Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. They were the massive ones at that point in time. This is referred to as the Big Dark Three. So this is Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, and now Hell's Paradise. So the other two are more successful than Hell's Paradise, but Hell's Paradise is obviously still holding its own in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for it. The
I hadn't
animation
heard of it.
looks really cool, and it's getting a lot of traction in the anime community. But then we're going back to our nostalgia. I named my first cat after the Green Power Ranger. So Tommy, the Power Ranger Pussycat.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah, it was a girl cat too, but I named it
love
Tommy.
it. Yep.
And Power Rangers, what's it called? All for one, or
Once and
all
always.
once? Yeah, that's the one. Once and always. That is on Netflix. It is a movie. It is a
Yep.
55-minute movie.
55-minute movie. Yeah.
Yeah, which is in the same vein as a Paw Patrol movie. It's about 40 minutes, so it's like two or three
Yeah, I'm
episodes
keen.
all mashed up together. So I'm keen for it. But that is it for today's episode. It is recording on my birthday, so it's a very fun way to spend it.
Happy birthday.
Thank
I'll make
you.
it known that I already wished him happy birthday in the last podcast, so
Yeah.
don't think I'm a bad friend.
Yeah, we got a double. But he doesn't want to play Sea of Thieves with me. He already made that very clear. Called me out massively.
Nah, man, I'm taking the piss. I'm down for Sea of Thieves. It's good shit.
Then we'll see. We'll see.
It's been a long podcast today.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
it has been. But yeah, we've got lots of things coming. If you guys want to actually recommend any films, we've got a Discord. I'll put it in the show notes and whatever. I've been sort of arming. That's the word I was looking for.
Umming and ahhing.
Yep, about whether to release a Discord and stuff. You need to make sure that you're 18 years or older and not a current high school student. So to get into the Discord. So that is the disclaimer we're putting out there. And there are a number of things in there. Obviously, there is a number of us that are streaming. We have the Ryman TV community. You can check us out every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:45 Australian Central Standard Time. You got Retro with Damo, and you got Sure Thing with Jimmy as well. Though stream after me, and we got community challenges. And in the Discord, we're going to bring out all sorts of different things. So check that out. And we'll see you guys next time. Make sure you hit that big thumbs up so it really helps the algorithm and everything else. So if you're going to review us on Spotify, it's a 5-star or it's nothing. So don't worry about it if it's not a 5-star, but we do appreciate it. So
Hell yeah.
we'll see you guys next time.
Love yous.
Bye.